Next, Mr. Chameleon and the Hasty Marriage Murder Case. Tonight, we again present the famous Mr. Chameleon of Central Police Headquarters in his famous cases of crime and murder. Mr. Chameleon, as you know, is the famous and dreaded detective who frequently uses a disguise to track down a killer, a disguise which at all times is recognized by the audience. Tonight, we give you Mr. Chameleon in the Hasty Marriage Murder Case. Summer is the time for quick romances, and sometimes these romances blossom into marriage. And so we find young Tom Morton with Elsie, his bride of a few days, mounting the steps of his house in New York and saying as he rings the doorbell,
"What's the matter, Elsie, darling? You act so nervous. We're home. This is our home. You're Mrs. Morton now."
I know. It seems so strange that 2 weeks ago we didn't even know each other. Tom, we met for the first time at that summer resort. I mean, it was all so quick.
Well, not too quick for me.
We know so little about each other. For all you know, I might be a terrible person.
Oh, sure, Elsie, a murderess, no doubt. And I could be a murderer.
Oh, Tom, I'm frightened for some reason.
For heaven's sake, Elsie. We love each other, don't we? Isn't that enough? Oh, but here's Mrs. Pearson, the world's prize housekeeper. How are you, Mrs. Pearson?
Very well, Mr. Morton. Is this Mrs. Morton?
It certainly is. Elsie, this is Mrs. Pearson, who's looked after me so well.
How do you do, Mrs. Pearson? I feel I have a friend in you.
I hope so, Mrs. Morton. We all need friends.
Elsie, wait here. I want to run upstairs. I have a surprise for you up there. I'll call you in a minute.
All right, dear. This is rather a gloomy house, isn't it, Mrs. Pearson? I didn't think it would be like this. I mean, it's odd for a young man to want to live in a house like this.
Your husband has rather odd tastes, Mrs. Morton. You should have found out more about him, perhaps, before you married him.
What do you mean?
You've only known him for 2 weeks?
Yes, it was love at first sight.
These whirlwind courtships are always dangerous.
Dangerous? What do you mean? Mrs. Pearson, what do you mean?
I mean your husband, who you've known only a few weeks, is a murderer.
Tom, a murderer?
A psychopathic killer. He killed 2 other women before you.
I don't believe you.
You'd better believe me, Mrs. Morton. Poor Tom, I've looked after him as though he were my son, but I can't stand any more. You're too young and pretty to die.
Oh, Mrs. Pearson.
He's waiting for you now as he did for the others. He's waiting upstairs to murder you.
I don't believe you. I don't believe you.
Elsie, come upstairs, dear. Elsie, do you hear me?
Yes, Tom, I'm coming. I'm not afraid, Mrs. Pearson. After all, I know just as much about him as he does about me. Tom, where are you? Where's our room, Tom?
Mrs. Morton, what happened? Mrs. Morton! Oh, no.
Tom's dead, Mrs. Pearson. My husband's dead. And here's the gun.
Thank heavens you had a gun on you. The other poor girls he murdered weren't quite so lucky.
And now, a little later, we find Mr. Chameleon, the great detective, entering the room where Tom Morton lies dead. And he says to Elsie, who kneels sobbing beside her husband,
Mrs. Morton, I'm Chameleon of Central Police Headquarters. I'm sorry, I must look at your husband's body.
I can't believe it, Mr. Chameleon. I still can't believe it. This must be a nightmare. It can't any of it be true.
Yes, I know. Murder always seems like a nightmare. Shot through the heart, huh? Is this the gun?
Yes, it's Tom's. It was lying on the floor beside him. I picked it up. I know I shouldn't have, but I did it without thinking.
Dave, this is Detective Sergeant Dave Arnold. Mrs. Morton.
How do you do?
Dave, will you take all the fingerprints off this gun, please?
Okay, Mr. Chameleon. Mrs. Pearson, the housekeeper, wants to speak to you.
Tell her in just a minute, Dave. Mrs. Morton, what is this box of jewels doing on the table? Did your husband write this card with him? My dead mother's jewels for my bride to make live again.
Yes, it's Tom's handwriting. He said he had a surprise for me.
Mm-hmm. Mrs. Morton, how long have you been married?
Just a couple of days.
Mm-hmm. And how long had you known your husband?
Less than 2 weeks.
Less than 2 weeks?
Yes, Mr. Chameleon, we met at a summer resort.
Do you mean to say that you had known each other less than 2 weeks, yet you were willing to take a serious step like marriage?
It's been done before.
Yes, it has. And now your husband lies murdered.
And you think our hasty marriage had something to do with the murder? But that's not true. Tom was shot by someone I didn't see. Whoever it was got away just before I came into this room.
Do you think they left through that door there and went down the back stairs?
Well, probably. I mean, I didn't know there was a back stairs. I didn't know a thing about this house, Mr. Chameleon, until my husband brought me here.
Let's see where the door leads to. Mm-hmm. A back hallway.
Which I didn't know was there.
You might have opened the door and looked, Mrs. Morton, and then made up your story that the murderer got away.
Oh, no, that's horrible. As horrible as Mrs. Pearson's lies.
What lies did Mrs. Pearson, the housekeeper, tell you?
She told me that Tom was a murderer. That I'd married a man who was a psychopathic killer. That he'd killed 2 women before.
Mrs. Morton, you see now the results of marrying a man that you knew nothing about. You might have killed your husband in self-defense.
I didn't kill Tom.
Very well, Mrs. Morton, that's all for now. Detective Sergeant Arnold is in the kitchen, I believe. He'll want to take your fingerprints. It's quite necessary, Mrs. Morton.
All right, Mr. Chameleon.
Mrs. Pearson, will you come in, please?
Yes, Mr. Chameleon.
What's this about Tom Morton being a murderer? Mrs. Morton, his bride, says that you told her that he'd killed 2 women.
I told her that? Oh, the poor child. It was the other way around.
Do you mean that it was she who claimed her husband was a killer?
Well, it was this way, Mr. Chameleon. She said she was afraid. She'd only known him for a few weeks, and it seemed to me her poor sick mind suddenly connected him with some murder she'd read about in the newspapers.
And she told you all this just before Tom Morton's murder?
Yes, she was in a terrible state when she went upstairs to him. And then when I heard the shots...
Are you all right, Mrs. Pearson?
Yes, it's just that I haven't been well. A woman comes twice a week to give me sun lamp treatments. Poor Tom Morton, he was such a... Oh, excuse me, there's the doorbell.
I'll come down with you. Mrs. Morton says that she knew her husband less than 2 weeks before she married him. I can never understand a hasty marriage like that. Can you, Mrs. Pearson?
I think it's awful, Mr. Chameleon. Why, either one of them might have had some dreadful secret in their past.
Exactly. But you'd better open that door, Mrs. Pearson. Someone's very impatient.
Yes, young man? What do you want?
I want to see Elsie. Mrs. Morton. Where is she?
Why do you want to see her?
Because I do. And who are you?
I'm Chameleon of Central Police Headquarters. And Mr. Morton has been murdered. So you'd better tell me who you are and your relationship with Mrs. Morton.
Why, my name is Donald Hilton, and I'm just a friend of Elsie Morton's.
Just a friend? Yet you rush in here shouting that you must see her? You'll have to do better than that, Mr. Hilton.
I heard the doorbell. Is it really you?
Oh, yes, Elsie. Are you all right, sweetheart?
Yes, but Tom is dead. He's been murdered. Oh, Donald.
What's the matter? Elsie, why do you push me away?
Maybe she's afraid it was you, Mr. Hilton, who killed her husband. You were in love with her, weren't you? Isn't that true, Mrs. Morton?
Yes, Mr. Chameleon.
And Hilton was always jealous, violently so. He must have been, or you wouldn't have been that frightened that quickly. Isn't that right, Mrs. Morton?
I'll answer for her. Yes, I was jealous. And now leave Elsie alone, Mr. Chameleon.
Oh, yes, please leave me alone. I'm afraid I can't take any more.
Some water, quickly. She's fainted.
Here, from this pitcher.
Thank you, Mrs. Pearson. You feeling better, Mrs. Morton?
What happened, Mr. Chameleon?
You fainted.
Oh, yes. Is Donald Hilton still here?
You went out to get some more water. Mrs. Pearson?
Yes, Mr. Chameleon. Is Mrs. Morton feeling better?
Yes, a little better. But she should go to bed immediately. And she should have care.
Then may I make a suggestion? The girl who gives me my weekly treatments is here. Perhaps
Will you bring her in, please?
Miss Marlowe, will you come in, please? This is Mr. Chameleon, the famous detective, and this is Miss Marlowe.
How do you do?
Miss Marlowe, you care for sick people?
Yes, Mr. Chameleon. I'm not a nurse, but I've always liked to take care of people, so I decided to make a living at it.
I see. And you come here to give sun lamp treatments to the housekeeper, Mrs. Ferson?
Yes.
Miss Marlowe, would you say that Mrs. Morton is a dangerously hysterical woman?
Mr. Chameleon, I wouldn't think of expressing an opinion. I don't know her. I've never seen her until this moment.
Thank you, Miss Marlowe. You take Mrs. Morton upstairs, please.
Yes, Mr. Chameleon. Come along, my dear. You'll feel better soon, Mrs. Morton.
You keep an eye on her, too, Mrs. Ferson. I'll call you if I need you.
Yes, Mr. Chameleon.
Right now, I'm going to finish my little talk with Donald Hilton. I see him in the hall. Mr. Hilton, Elsie Morton is taken care of, so you don't have to worry about that.
Thank you, Mr. Chameleon.
Tell me, just how did you know that Elsie Morton was back in town? Answer my question, please.
Well, I received a mysterious phone call saying Elsie was here in Tom Morton's home, and she needed me desperately.
When did you get the call?
Half an hour before I got here.
Who called you, a woman?
I couldn't tell. The voice was disguised.
And you came here immediately. Did Elsie send you Tom Morton's address?
No. When she wrote from the summer resort and said she was marrying him, a stranger, I was worried, so I looked up his address in the phone book. That was natural, wasn't it?
Very natural. And natural for a jealous man like you to come here and wait for them. We found a cellar window open. You could have sneaked up the back stairs and waited in his room.
No.
After all, Donald Hilton, you might say that you weren't responsible for your actions. It must have been a great shock to you when Elsie jilted you for a man that she met only 2 weeks ago. What sort of a girl is it who could do such a thing?
Don't you dare say anything about Elsie, Chameleon. It was Tom Morton. He was a so-and-so. He not only took Elsie away from me, but he also threw over the girl he'd been going with for years. He smashed up 2 lives, hers as well as mine.
How did you hear about this other girl that Tom Morton threw over?
Elsie wrote me about her. It worried her at the time.
And who was the girl? What was her name?
Flora Reynolds, I believe. But the housekeeper, Mrs. Ferson, should know.
Yes, Mrs. Ferson should certainly know, and I intend to find out why she never mentioned the girl to me. And, Mrs. Ferson, you deliberately withheld information. Why didn't you tell me about this Flora Reynolds, the girl that Tom Morton jilted?
I didn't think she was important, Mr. Chameleon.
Tom Morton was murdered. Anyone who was connected with him is important. And he went with this girl, Flora, for years.
Flora Reynolds was his second cousin. He wasn't in love with her.
You emphasize the her. Was there anyone else?
No. But Miss Flora's a lovely girl. I'm very fond of her.
Obviously. And I cannot allow you to protect someone just because you think they're innocent.
Mr. Chameleon?
Yes, Detective Sergeant Arnold, come in. What is it?
It's about the gun, Mr. Chameleon.
Huh?
The only fingerprints found on the gun were the bride's, Elsie Morton's fingerprints. Not so good, huh?
No. Not so good for Elsie. By the way, Mrs. Ferson, you saw a good deal of this other girl, Flora Reynolds. You had a chance to observe her. Did you?
Why, yes, I did, Mr. Chameleon.
Could you tell me offhand what size glove you'd say she wore?
What size glove? Why, no. That's a strange question.
Is it? Many a murderer, Mrs. Ferson, has been trapped because a detective asked the one strange question that counted.
Mr. Chameleon and the Hasty marriage murder case continues in just a moment. And now back to Mr. Chameleon and the Hasty marriage murder case. Elsie Morton was a bride of only a few days when her husband, Tom, whom she met at a summer resort and married after a 2 weeks' romance, was murdered. And Elsie herself is suspected. But Mr. Chameleon is never satisfied with surface evidence, and so it is that we find him now at the home of Flora Reynolds, to whom he is introducing himself.
Miss Reynolds, I'm Chameleon of Central Police Headquarters. I've come to talk to you about the murder of your distant cousin, Tom Morton.
Yes, I know, Mr. Chameleon. Well, I mean...
You mean that Mrs. Ferson, Tom Morton's housekeeper, called you? Well, that was very nice of her to warn you, but very stupid, too.
Mr. Chameleon, believe me, I had no reason to kill Tom.
Didn't you? You went with him for quite a few years, and then he suddenly married another girl.
But I never expected to marry him, never. We were second cousins and friends, that's all there was to it. Of course, Tom must have been insane to marry a girl he hardly knew. Met at a summer resort. She might have been anything.
All right, Miss Reynolds. Don't get so upset. Stop twisting your hands. Your knuckles are quite white.
My hands? Oh, I didn't realize. Why do you stare at them so, Mr. Chameleon?
They're very beautiful hands.
Thank you.
But quite large for a woman, aren't they?
I guess so. Mr. Chameleon, I wish you wouldn't keep staring at them.
Sorry, I was just wondering what size glove you wore. Miss Reynolds, Tom Morton was murdered around 6 o'clock. Where were you at that time?
Right here in my home, Mr. Chameleon.
Alone?
Yes.
So, no one can back up your alibi, can they? You knew the Morton house. You could have sneaked in the back entrance. You could have waited for Tom Morton and his bride to arrive.
But I didn't, Mr. Chameleon. I didn't. Oh. Excuse me, please. Hello? Yes? Yes, he's right here. It's for you, Mr. Chameleon, Central Police Headquarters.
Thank you. Hello?
Oh, hello, Chameleon.
Oh, hello, Commissioner. What's up?
Plenty. Elsie Morton has been rushed to the hospital. Apparently, she attempted to poison herself.
Who's with her, Commissioner? Detective Foley?
Yes. Detective Sergeant Dave Arnold's on guard at the Morton house.
Mm-hmm.
Donald Hilton and Ada Marlowe, the girl who was looking after Mrs. Morton, are being held for questioning.
I'll go there to the Morton home immediately. Can Elsie Morton be questioned?
No, not now. She's in a coma. If it was attempted suicide, Chameleon, it's an admission of guilt. It means she had murdered her husband.
You're quite right, Commissioner. I'd better get going. I'll call you back. I've got to leave you, Miss Reynolds, but hold yourself in readiness. We may need you for further questioning at any minute.
Do you have any new evidence, Mr. Chameleon?
Yes, quite definitely. By the way, because of Tom Morton's death, you're due to inherit a lot of money from the Morton estate, aren't you?
I don't know what you mean by a lot, Mr. Chameleon. I'm only inheriting a couple of thousand.
Thank you for the information, Miss Reynolds.
You mean you didn't know? You tricked me into telling you?
I'm sorry, Miss Reynolds, but you never would have told me voluntarily that you profited financially from Tom Morton's murder. Oh, and by the way, I'd say offhand, Miss Reynolds, that you probably wear a size 7 glove.
And now, a few minutes later, we find Mr. Chameleon grimly confronting Donald Hilton and Ada Marlowe. And Ada Marlowe is weeping softly as Mr. Chameleon says to her,
Miss Marlowe, Elsie Morton was put in your care. Why'd you let her out of your sight?
I couldn't help it, Mr. Chameleon. Mr. Hilton here insisted. He said he had to see Mrs. Morton alone for a moment.
And in that moment, he poisoned her.
That's not true, Mr. Chameleon.
Well, then what is? Did Elsie Morton poison herself? Was it because she was guilty of murdering her husband and so she wanted to kill herself?
I love Elsie. I can't believe she's a murderer. And I'm not either.
Don't shout at me, Hilton. Miss Marlowe, how was the poison given to Elsie Morton?
When I left the room, Mr. Chameleon, she was drinking a glass of orange juice. I suppose the poison was in the orange juice. She said she wanted to die. Mr. Hilton heard her say so.
Is that true, Hilton?
Yes. I'm afraid it is, Mr. Chameleon.
Why did you want to see her alone, Hilton?
I wanted to tell Elsie I loved her and I'd stick by her. I swear I never touched the glass of orange juice she was holding.
If you had, you would have spilled it. Your hands are so unsteady. By the way, you have unusually small hands for a man, haven't you?
What of it?
I was just wondering what size glove you wore.
Oh, in the name of heaven, what does that have to do with this horrible murder, Mr. Chameleon?
Plenty, Mr. Hilton, plenty, believe me. All right, Miss Marlowe, Mr. Hilton, it's all for now. You're free to go, but I warn you, don't go too far away.
Well, you still haven't told me, Mr. Chameleon, what gloves have to do with it.
I don't intend to tell you. Just think it over, Hilton. Dave.
Right here, Mr. Chameleon.
Oh. Dave, there's no point in shadowing these people. Just let them stew in their own juice. It's all I want now. And they will. Flora Reynolds, Donald Hilton. I let them all with plenty to think about.
But none of the pieces seem to fit together.
Well, you're wrong, Dave. There are a lot of pieces, but they are beginning to fit together. Dave, I want you to do a bit of investigating, and the results may surprise you. And as for me...
You're going into a disguise?
Mm-hmm. I'm going to disguise myself as a toothless old ragpicker who has picked up a pair of gloves.
pair of gloves.
Yes, Dave, pair of gloves in good condition. And in my disguise as the wandering rag picker, I'm going to stop at the Morton house to see Mrs. Pearson, the housekeeper.
But why Mrs. Pearson? She couldn't have killed Tom Morton. She was downstairs at the time the shot was fired. Elsie Morton admits that.
Quite true. In fact, all signs still point to Elsie Morton as the murderer of her husband. But I'm convinced that Mrs. Pearson knows more about this than she's admitting. I want to see what she does when I hold out a pair of gloves and ask her if by any chance they belong to her.
And so the following morning we find Mr. Chameleon in his disguise as a senile and tattered old rag picker. He has been ringing the doorbell of the Morton house, and when the housekeeper, Mrs. Pearson, opens the door, he speaks in the voice of his disguise.
Morning, ma'am. You the lady of the house?
Yes, that is, I'm the housekeeper here. What do you want?
Well, I tell you now, I'm a rag picker by rights, but once in a while I like to get me a job. Sweeping, washing windows.
And there's no job for you here.
Well, I'm an honest, hard-working man. I'll show you how honest I am. Now, you threw something in the ash can that I know you shouldn't have thrown away.
What are you talking about?
This pair of gloves.
Gloves?
Mm-hmm. It's all rolled up and stuck in the ash can, but they're brand new, and I thought you might still want them.
Let me see them. What size are they?
I don't know. I didn't look. I guess it's marked inside.
Yes. Yes, it is.
They belong to you?
Yes.
But, lady, wait now. Don't close the door in my face. I need a job.
That's too bad. Get along with you and don't come back.
And now, the following day, we find Mr. Chameleon in his office at Central Police Headquarters with Detective Sergeant Dave Arnold. And he is saying to Dave,
They all outside, Dave?
Yes, Mr. Chameleon. Mrs. Pearson, Donald Hilton, Flora Reynolds, and Miss Marlowe.
Good. You got your information handy?
Right here, Mr. Chameleon.
Mm-hmm. Let's go. All right, everyone. Come in, please.
Mr. Chameleon, haven't we gone through enough?
Miss Reynolds, Tom was murdered and his wife...
Tried to commit suicide. That proves how guilty Elsie Morton is.
No, Miss Reynolds. The person who killed Tom Morton tried to murder Elsie, too, and make it look like suicide.
And you think that must have been one of us?
It must have been, Mr. Hilton.
But Elsie's fingerprints, Mr. Chameleon, they were the only ones on the gun.
Because the murderer wore gloves. And you know it, Mrs. Pearson.
I know it. Why?
Yes, you do. I've hammered at that point. I tried to make the murderer worry about the gloves they wore to avoid leaving fingerprints on the gun. Any one of you could have worn them. But you, Mrs. Pearson, knew who it was who wore those gloves, and you were panic-stricken.
That's ridiculous. I have no idea who killed Tom Morton.
No? Then why did you take those gloves from an old rag picker? Gloves that weren't yours at all, but they were the right size.
A rag picker?
You lost your head and you took them from him. You burned them afterwards. I watched you through the window, Mrs. Pearson.
You did? You, Mr. Chameleon?
I was the rag picker in disguise.
Oh, no.
Those gloves were a plant. I wanted to see how you would react to them. By destroying them, you betrayed your intimate knowledge of the murder.
No.
Mrs. Pearson, you thought those gloves belonged to your daughter, who wears a 6.5, as I was able to gauge.
My daughter?
Yes, you have a daughter, Mrs. Pearson. For over a year, she was seen repeatedly with Tom Morton. Any number of people could identify her.
No, that's not true.
You should have told me that you had a daughter, Mrs. Pearson, instead of making us go to the city birth records. You should have told Tom Morton that the girl you introduced to him was your daughter.
Mr. Chameleon,
You didn't because you were afraid, Mrs. Pearson. Afraid that Tom Morton would realize that the two of you were trying to trap him. Unfortunately, your daughter really fell in love with Tom Morton. When he suddenly married another girl while on vacation at a summer resort, all your daughter wanted was vengeance. So you worked out a diabolical scheme, Mrs. Pearson. You told Morton's wife, Elsie, that he was a psychopathic killer, while all the time your own daughter was upstairs waiting to murder Tom Morton. Isn't that right, Miss Marlowe?
No, no!
Hey, don't let her get away!
I've got her, Mr. Chameleon. Take it easy now.
No use, Ada. Your pretense that you came here to give Mrs. Pearson sun lamp treatments won't work anymore. She's your own mother.
Mother, you stupid fool! This is all your fault.
I'd burn the gloves I used. Nobody could have traced them, but you had to lose your head.
Ada!
If I'm convicted of murder, it's your fault. It's all your fault.
Ada!
You wretched old woman, I hate you. I hate you.
All right, Ada, that's enough. You're under arrest for the murder of Tom Morton and the attempted murder of his wife, Elsie Morton. I'm holding you, too, Mrs. Pearson, as an accessory to the crime. I have a feeling that no matter what happens to you, Mrs. Pearson, no punishment will be as bad as having your own daughter turn against you.
And with these words, Mr. Chameleon concludes tonight's murder case. The part of Mr. Chameleon is played by Carl Swenson, with dialogue by Marie Baumer from the original story by Frank and Ann Hummert. Music directed by Victor Arden. Your announcer is Howard Claney.
This is CBS, where 99 million people gather every week, the Columbia Broadcasting System.